and then make sure that it's streaming live. There we go. We're live. Okay, so if you are still missing stuff, that's okay. Just work the best you can to get it caught up, okay? Now, I want to show you a couple of things. So last week I started trying to make sure I really use the agenda to show us what we're doing so that you know what you have to do if you're not here. Y'all see right here at the top, you can select the calendar and go to any page. So like if you were out Thursday, you can click and then it'll list the assignment for that day, okay? So if you're out a day, don't freak out because you don't see it. Just click on the calendar and go to whatever day that you need the assignment for. All right? So this is today. So I accidentally posted geometry's video in y'all's thing. So that's not y'all's video. But at the end of this class, I'll post the link for the video we're making right this minute. And so that video will be right there. And today we're going to be working on lesson 21, compound inequalities. Okay? So you're going to do the show it as a grade. I think I forgot to make it a interactive worksheet. I may have y'all type in your answers. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes us to go through the lesson, okay? So it is in lesson 21. So you go under, things should look a little different on your end of Buzz today. Do they look a little different? I took out all the old folders of stuff we've already covered so that you're not having to go wade through all that stuff. So I took all those folders off for you. They still show up for me, but I took them off for you. And so we are under solving inequalities under lesson 21. And we're going to work together to do the practice it. And then, of course, the read it is available to you. The practice it. Oh, I remember why I didn't make it. So they did it again. They made a show it and an assess it that are identical to each other. So I'm just going to have you guys do the assess it. So instead of doing the show it, because they're exactly the same. So that's why I didn't make an interactive worksheet this time, because I'm going to give you the assess it instead. However, it's not a test. It's not a quiz. It's just an assignment. Okay? So don't worry about it being like an assess it. Not like that. Okay? So let's go through and look for compound inequalities. I'm going to check real quick and make sure things are moving the way they're supposed to, and they are. Okay, what does the word compound mean? Combining something, right? That's what compound is. Think of a compound word. Throw one out there. Compound word. Any compound word. Okay, so and is a word that combines two sentences, but I mean a compound word, which is a word that is two words combined. Well, I've just tripped y'all up, huh? Into is technically not really what I was thinking of, but yeah, it will work. That's a contraction, not the same thing. A contraction is different than a compound word. How about something like doghouse? Doghouse. Hot dog. Crossbow. Anything where you're combining two words and you put them together, that's a compound word, right? A compound sentence is when you have two sentences and you combine them using and, right? Or but, or some other transitional word, right? Well, in math, we do compound inequalities. And compound inequalities is when you have more than one inequality and you combine them with either and or. Okay? So you could have something like x is greater than 6 or less than 17. That means that x has to fit in that range, where it's bigger than 6, but less than 17. I should have said the word and, though. Greater than 6 and less than 17. So, let's take, for example, this is how real life math works. Let's take, for example, if you're going to play on, not a school team, but like a league team. They say, the ages for this team are 11 to 14. So if we use X to represent the age, X has to be greater than or equal to 11 and less than or equal to 14. Y'all see how that works? You see what I'm saying? So if I wrote that one, so if the ages were x is greater than or equal to 11 and x is less than or equal to 14, right? So that's how I'd write it, as two different inequalities, but I can actually write it as one inequality with one x. So when I write it as one inequality, I put the lower limit on this side, that's 11. I put the x in the middle, and I put the upper limit on the other side. In that case, it's 14, right? Now remember how we talked about reading from x, right? So if we're reading from x, we'll do this way first. And we go this way, this should say x is less than 14, less than or equal to 14, just like that, right? But if we're going this way, what does x have to be to 11? Greater than. So our greater than symbol, if we read from x, goes like that. Does that make sense? Because we're reading it from a different direction. Y'all see what I'm saying? Okay, so this is another way to write that compound inequality. And if they're ands, you'll almost always see them written like this. And that means it's a range of numbers, right? Okay, now we have another compound inequality, and that's the ors. And the ors are when it can be one end or the other end, but it's not going to be anything in the middle. So that's things like where you get a discount if you're under 5 years old or you're over 60, right? So like, let's say you're going somewhere. I can't think of a place where you get a discount like this. Somebody said they went to iJump this weekend. So let's say you're going to iJump and they give a discount for little bitty kids and they give a discount for old people because they don't figure they're going to jump a whole lot. Old people were little bitty kids, right? So let's say they say, well, you get a discount if you're less than or equal to 5 or if you're over 60, right? So that means the people who get the discount are the ones that are 5 and younger or the ones who are over 60. Does a 60-year-old get a discount based on this? No, they don't. Why not? It's not equal to, right? You have to be over 60 to get a discount. Allergies. Not the COVID. Okay, just allergies. Okay, so let's look at a few problems together. So here we have a graph, right? And we want to match this graph to this compound inequality, or to a compound inequality. So let's see what this says. What does this say here? What can x be in this problem? Anything greater than? And less than 5. Can it equal them? Yes. So does this match that? What does this read? X is, remember, read from this side. X is what to 4? Greater than or equal to negative 4. Do y'all see that? And then what does it say x is to 5? It says less than. So this one matches that one, doesn't it? So we'll go on to the next one. So what does this say? What does that say? Okay, so x is what to negative 4? Greater than or equal to. Does it have a limit down here? See, that's an arrow, right? And that arrow means it keeps going. This is not even a compound inequality. This is, excuse me, this is just an inequality. So we need to find the just inequality that matches. Well, you sorry sucker. Stay. Okay. It's not that one, is it? That? This? This? Is there even one in there? Y'all think they messed up? I'm going to make this bigger. Hang on. I think they messed up. There's not one in there that matches that graph, is there? I don't think so either. So this says x is less than negative 4 or less than 5. X is less than negative 4. X is greater than negative 5 or greater than or equal to 5. I guess this one would match it technically, right? Because it's greater than or equal to negative 4. True story. If it was greater than or equal to 5, would we need to put a dot and an arrow to keep going at 5? No, because 5 is already covered. So we can say it's this one. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's look at this one here. X is what? What's our graph say? X is less than or equal to negative 4. And X is, wait. And then what's it say? Okay, so see how this goes this way, like this? These are ors when it's like this. It's this or this. It can't be both of them, right? Because you can't have a point that's on both red lines. So this is going to be something or. So when we look through our options, we need to look for an or. There's an or. Does this one work? Oh, no, it doesn't work because it says x is greater than negative 4, right? So that one doesn't work. That's not an or. Does this one work? Oh, it doesn't work. Y'all see why? That says x is less than 5. X is not less than 5. What about this one? Yes, that one works. Okay. Let's try the next one. What does that say? X is greater than or equal to 5. All right. Let's see if we can find something that matches up with that. Does that match? No, because that says x is greater than negative 4, and we got nothing down here, right? Okay. What about this one? Y'all, I swear that has not been in there. Has that been in there? Has that answer been an option? I don't remember ever seeing that. I bet we've missed one of these. Okay. This is x is less than 5, though, and that's not true, right? This one won't work because x is not less than negative 5. This one won't work because x is not greater than negative 4, right? This one won't work. This one won't work. Do we have any that will work? Y'all, I swear. Are we overlooking something?
Probably.
That says x is greater than negative 4. That's not it. X is less than negative 4, but it's not on there. X is greater than negative 4, no. X is less than negative 4, no. X is greater than negative 4, no. This one does not have an answer. Do y'all see that? There is not an answer that fits this. We're going to go ahead and hit next and see what happens. What's this one say? These don't fit. Huh? I didn't make it. This is from Buzz. I didn't make this. We're going to do this. We're just going to randomly pick some and then see what it does. Okay, so we got that one correct. That was the one we got stuck on right there, wasn't it? Because there's no answer for it. None of those were answers for it. or this one, or this one. We got lucky. Okay, but y'all get the idea, right? Like, you understand the concept behind it, even though Buzz is terrible. Okay, so let's go to the next part where we need to solve an inequality, a compound inequality, okay? So let's say we have like this right here. And I'm going to switch over to split screen again, so y'all give me a second to switch that over. Actually, I'm just going to write it down and go to full screen with the other thing. So I've got 5 is less than x plus 10 is less than or equal to 9. And then I'm going to go full screen with the document camera. Okay, so here's our problem. Now, this is a compound inequality, right? That means it's actually 2 inequalities. They're just put together into one. This part in the middle, that part in the middle goes with both of them. So to solve this, we need to split it apart into its 2 inequalities and solve both of them. So when we split it apart, we'll write down exactly what's over here. We'll write down our sign, and then we'll write down anything that's in the middle. That's one inequality. And then to do the other side, we'll write down whatever's on this side. We'll write down our sign exactly the way it is, and then whatever's in the middle. See how there's 2 pieces there? Okay? So now we can solve each one of them. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle so we don't get confused. And then we're going to solve this one. So what do I do to get x by itself here? And I have to do that to both sides, right? Okay, do I need to flip my sign? No. When do you flip the sign? Multiply or divide by a negative. And we didn't do that. So that's gone, and I have x left over here. What do I have over here? 5 minus 10 is negative 5, right? Now we do the same thing on this side. Now our math's going to be exactly the same to solve it, right? So we're going to subtract 10. Sign stays the same. And then what's 9 minus 10? Negative 1. So what this says is x is greater than negative 5 and x is less than or equal to negative 1. So if we were graphing that, right, we have negative 5, we have negative 1. X is what to negative 5? Read from the x. X is greater than negative 5. Can it be negative 5? So, open circle, right? So, and it's greater than, so that means we're going to go that way with it, right? But then what does it say over here? X is less than or equal to negative 1. So at negative 1 we have a closed circle, but we're going that way. So it winds up being all of this stuff between there. Can negative 5 be the answer? Can negative 2 be the answer? Is negative 2 in the shaded area? Yes, then it can be the answer. Can negative 1 be the answer? Yes. Can negative 8 be the answer? No. So the answer has to be within this range right here. Y'all see how that works? All right, let's switch back over and get another problem. I know you are bored to tears. Okay? Which is the graph? This is a terrible practice set. Okay, so we've got 2x is greater than or equal to 8, or negative 3x is greater than or equal to 9. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over. 2x is greater than or equal to 8, or negative 3x is greater than or equal to 9. See how it has or in the middle? When they're written like this, there's nothing to pull apart. The only reason you would pull it apart if it's written like this, where there's no and or in the middle. Okay, so we would solve this side first. What do we do? Divide by 2. So x is greater than or equal to 4. Over here, what do we do? Oh, we got to flip that sign. I'm glad somebody thought of it. When you divide by negative, you got to flip your sign. So x is So what would this look like as a graph? So we've got 4 over here, negative 3 over here. Open or closed circles? Both closed. Okay. Going out or going in? X is greater than 4. And what is it to negative 3? Less than. Going that way. Right? Does that make sense? Would 0 be a possible answer? No. Would 5 be a possible answer? But remember, this stuff in the middle, none of that works. This is what works. Or this. Notice how it's or on these? Notice how it's or? Because it's going out. It can be one side or the other. It can't be both. You can't be a 4-year-old and a 60-year-old at the same time. Like that doesn't work, right? You're either 4 or you're 60. You ain't both. Okay. I think y'all get the gist of this. I want to see how you do on your assess it. And then we can always come back and revisit it if we have to. So, you are going to not open a calculator. I don't know why I did that. So, you're going to go to the compound inequalities, assess it. I think it's going to be 5 or 6 problems. You're going to click start, and then it will give you problems to do. You're going to want paper to write on, okay? Don't try to do this stuff in your head. Some of you are smart. You're not that smart. I don't do this stuff in my head. Okay. Ending the stream